ABC 11, and I've been honored to be asked to be your MC for the event today. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have had a wonderfully warm welcome here today. It's not often I get to Rocky Mount. I actually got married here in Rocky Mount at Our Lady of Perpetual Help about 22 years ago. I want to thank you for the folks I've met. Have been so warm and welcoming, and it's an honor to be here for this dedication of this beautiful building. So we're going to get started with all the festivities here. Again, I had a chance, Charles showed me around and everything just a little while ago, and it's amazing what you guys have done here, what's been done. 8 basketball courts that can be converted to 16 volleyball courts. A beautiful family entertainment adventure center where kids can get lost having fun. We saw a couple out there, but for hours. All of the event spaces for even small parties, trade shows, conventions, concerts, all within this building. The folks here that have planned this have really, really outdone themselves, and I think we should give them a round of applause. To celebrate, we're going to have a program to start things off, and then a concert that's going to immediately follow this program. So first, I'd like you to please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Rocky Mount Police and Fire Honor Guard. The national anthem will be presented by a talented group of young people from Eastern North Carolina, the Tar River Children's Chorus Ensemble, and they're going to sing the national anthem. Thank you again. That was the Tar River Children's Chorus Ensemble and the Rocky Mount Police and Fire Honor Guard. They did a fantastic job. That was beautiful. They do many, many events, and obviously you can see why. Such a skilled group of young people. I'm sure the mayor is going to introduce every member of the city council that was helpful in bringing this project to fruition, but I do want to just take a minute to recognize the council for bringing this project to fruition. It was a $48 million project that will be an economic driver for downtown Rocky Mount and the Twin County region. Most healthy cities, as you know, begin with a vibrant downtown, and your city council has done their homework to ensure that Rocky Mount succeeds, and I totally agree from seeing this today and meeting the folks that were involved. It's an amazing project that's really, really beautiful. So without further ado, let's welcome Mayor David Combs. I had the honor to meet him just a moment ago, or this afternoon, his lovely wife, and he will provide the welcome and also recognition of elected officials. The mayor will be followed by Police Chaplain Reverend Howard Kendrick with the invocation. Mayor.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here today. This has been a journey, to say no less. It's been, like I said earlier today, we've talked about having an event center or something similar for over 50 years in Rocky Mount. We have been working on it for the last 5 years as a council and a mayor, and so we're here today. One of the amazing things about this building is the construction only took 18 months. That is amazing for a facility like this. This facility was first introduced to the council as an idea from our former manager, city manager Charles Penny, at a city council retreat in 2012 down in Wilmington. And we didn't do a lot of work on it then, but we did come back and we decided that it was something that we at least needed to do a feasibility study on to see if it was something that we wanted to move forward on. We did hire a company called AECOM, and they designed the building, thought that it would work here in Rocky Mount, but we had over 20 small meetings, as well as I can't tell you how many open meetings that we discussed this event center and what it would do for Rocky Mount, and we had a lot of feedback from our community, and so we realized in the process of doing this that we need to rethink what we were doing. So we went out and hired a company called Sports Facility Advisory. You're going to hear from them today. And they're also Sports Facilities Management, which is going to manage the facility. But they took a different look at what we were doing. And they decided with travel and sports travel tourism being an $80 billion business a year, and the success we have had in our sports facility, bringing in over 100,000 people a year and generating over $12 million in revenues, that this was a great way to leverage that success and at the same time building what we were already doing in downtown Rocky Mount to redevelop it. And you're going to hear from Congressman Butterfield in a minute, and he really jump-started this by getting us a grant a number of years ago for our downtown streetscape, so we definitely want to thank him, and he's going to speak with you in a minute. So we decided to go back to the drawing board, and what you see today is a result of a lot of community meetings, a lot of feedback, and then getting the right company to come in and look at us. And they may tell you a story about coming to Rocky Mount and not sure it would work until they really found out more about our community. So we're here today. We had a lot of feedback from citizens in our community, and this is really a community facility. If you went through it today, you saw the small rooms for birthdays, you saw the children's area and the climbing wall and the ropes course, and you saw the areas that we could have events, whether it's weddings or small functions or meetings. And so what we've designed is a building that's very flexible. There's nothing like this in North Carolina, I can tell you that. There's certainly not anything in Eastern North Carolina that we could host the number of people that we can host in this building. So we're going to have events coming to Rocky Mount that would have never come to Rocky Mount because we didn't have anywhere to have it. So we, as Chris said, it cost about $48 million, but we look at it as an investment. You got to have the public investment before the private investment will come. It's coming, it's already started, and we're seeing it in downtown Rocky Mount, and we're going to continue to see it grow. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for allowing us to move this project forward. Again, a lot of you were supporters of us during this process, and we want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I'm going to recognize some people now, and I'm not going to be able to recognize everybody that should be recognized. Unfortunately, we've been here a long time. We got a lot of VIPs. But I do want to recognize our city council. Lois, and if you're here, stand. I'm not sure where everybody is. I think everybody was supposed to be down here, but maybe got went in a different direction. But Lois Watkins, our Mayor Pro Tem. Lois, if you're here, you just hold your applause and we'll clap for all of them. Chris Miller, I know I saw her here. Councilmember Richard Joyner, and Richard's one that kind of joined us in the process of this. Councilmember Andre Knight. Councilmember Tom Rogers, Councilmember Reuben Blackwell, Councilmember Richard Jordan. Can you get somewhere, Richard? All right. And I want to also recognize, was Councilmember Wiggins, now it's Judge Wiggins, because he was here when we made the decision to move forward. I want to recognize our city manager, Rochelle Small-Tony. Our assistant city managers, Natasha Hampton-Clayton and Chris Bessler. They're here somewhere. Former city manager and somebody that was a big part of this event center, Charles Penny. And then if we had, we invited a couple of assistant city managers I didn't see, Tom Smoten and Tasha Logan Ford were also part of the team when we started moving this facility forward. I also want to recognize any of the city staff who worked on the planning of this project. If you're here and you're a city staff that you worked on this, please stand. Brad, I know you were involved in it. He was our project manager for the city. So any city employees that were involved in the planning of this, please stand. At this time, I also want to recognize the event center staff, because you'll be seeing them a lot if you come into this facility. Marcus Merle, who is the Event Center General Manager. Ashley Pittman, who's the Marketing Manager. Chip Hutchinson, the Sports and Sponsorship Manager. Jacqueline Elder, the Catering and Sales Manager. Yvette Winstead, the Business Manager. Brian Haddad, the Operations Manager. Brian Smith, the Food and Beverage Manager. Daniel Hennessy, the Game Day and Box Office Manager. Rashawn Grant, Banquet Manager, and also a big thank you to all the other staff here at the Event Center. Let's give them a round of applause. Also again, want to welcome Secretary Reagan, who spoke to us earlier outside about our brownfields that we were able to do here with a number 500 project in the state. So thank you for all your efforts to help us get that done. And I also want everybody, members of the Carolinas Gateway Partnership, or if you're a member of a board or a commission for the city, ask you to stand at this time. We get a lot of support from these people, so we want to thank them for being here as well and supporting us. I know I have a lot of elected officials here, so if you're an elected official, please stand at this time to be recognized. I know we've had a number of them, whether you're school board, county commissioner, mayor for Nashville was here earlier, so we want to thank them as well. Hopefully we'll all be using it as time goes on as a community and as a region, not just as Rocky Mountain. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it back over to Chris, but again, thank you for being here today. It's a great day in the city of Rocky Mount. I especially want to thank my wife, Catherine, for being here, and she's my rock, so thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to welcome to the stage one of your favorites. He is the senior pastor of the Restoration Worship Center here in Rocky Mount. He's a Grammy-nominated gospel artist and a stellar award winner who is a member of the International Gospel Music Hall of Fame. He was inducted into the Twin County Hall of Fame in 2006, and most recently, the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame just this month. So everybody, please, a warm welcome for gospel artist Luther Barnes.
Amen. I'm happy to be here today. I'm so just so joyful and seeing what God has done, how He's blessed us to see this day. Long time coming. And I'm sort of noticing everybody's happy, but we're sort of subdued. But I think we need to let it out, and not be so, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say ungrateful. I don't want to say ungrateful, but I am grateful for this day. And I think we need to appreciate the mayor, homes, city officials, everybody. Let's stand on our feet. Come on, let's show some appreciation for what they have done to make this happen. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. We are appreciative to you. Thank you so much. And I'm happy that it's called the Rocky Mount Event Center, not the Rocky Mount Coliseum, auditorium, those kind of words, but center. That word center means a lot to me. This is not just a building, y'all know that, right? This is the center of Rocky Mount. This is the center of our hearts. This brings us all together as one. Rocky Mount Center, Event Center. I love that. So thank you guys for doing such a great job. I'm going to sing this song and dedicate it to all of you, all of Rocky Mount, for helping me to be who I am today. So proud to call Rocky Mount my home. Thank you for putting my picture in the Hall of Fame section there. And you know what? They got me beside former Mayor Fred Turnage, you know, and I'm making him look good. I'm making him look real good. But it's such a marvelous day. Thank you so very much. God's grace is the reason why we're here. God's amazing grace. Turn it down just a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if you know this song. If you know it, I need some background. I need y'all to sing it with me. Y'all hear me singing if you know it? Well, get on your feet. Come on. Stand up. It's all right. Stand up. It's okay. And sing the song with me. Come on. How did I make it all these years? How did I make it this far? Through the valleys and over the hills, I know it had to be God. How did I make it through the storm? Y'all clap your hands, it's all right. How did I make it through the rain? If you want to know just how I got here, it's so easy to explain. You know what it was, church? It was God's grace. Come on. God's grace. God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. His amazing grace. God's grace. I made it this far. Yes, I did. By the grace of God. It was God's grace. God's grace. God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. His amazing grace. God's grace. I made it. I made it this far. I made it by the grace of God. Let me say this. Lord, I thank you, yeah, for how you brought me, how you brought me through the night. Lord, you kept me, and you never left me. You stood by my side. So many times I came so close. Yes, I did. Oh man, death tried to take me in. So the reason I'm here is not hard for me to see. In fact, it's so easy for me to explain. It was God's grace. God's grace. God's grace. It was God's grace. God's grace. His amazing grace. God's grace. I made it. I made it this far. I made it, y'all, by the grace. Grace of God. Let me say this. I remember the times when I strayed away, even though I knew the word, still I wouldn't obey. You know what? But God's mercy and His grace, it stayed with me, and it brought me all the way. It was God's grace. God's grace. God's grace. That's what it was. It was God's grace. God's grace. His amazing grace. God's grace. I made it. I made it. I think y'all can wave your hand and say that. By the grace. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's how we got here. That's how we in this beauty. By God's amazing grace. Brought us all together. Thank you, Lord, for your grace and your mercy. I made it this far.
I didn't want that to end. That was fantastic. Awesome. Round of applause. That was fantastic. Wow, I can see why Mr. Barnes won so many accolades and the Hall of Fame. That was fantastic. Now we have some information on the project from Rocky Mount City Manager Rochelle Small and Tony.
Well, good evening. You know, I don't think this is politically correct, but I'm going to say it anyway. To God be the glory. And Reverend Barnes, His grace is what? Sufficient? All right. Well, now, here we are. And the journey here has been very long. It's been very difficult, but because of the vision of the former city manager Charles Penny for what was needed to bring Rocky Mount to the forefront, and because of the courage and commitment and steadfastness, the thick skin, all of that was represented in the city council, because without the council taking that vision and moving it forward for this community, we simply would not be here. And so for that, I think that they deserve another standing ovation. I also want to thank each and every one of you, our citizens who supported this project. Doesn't it feel good to stand in the midst of such a large venue, 165,000 square feet, that offers something for everyone and is a model for this type of facility throughout the country? Rocky Mount is on the map. Trust me, I was down in Miami selling Rocky Mount, and I didn't have to do a lot of selling because they already knew about it. They knew about this facility, and they were prepared and are being prepared to come here in the future. Doesn't it feel exciting to be in a facility that will meet the needs of everyone? Kids, my grandkids, adults, families, and more because of its flexibility. You can venture to the Rocky Mount Event Center for tournaments, concerts, trade shows, graduations, and just pure fun. This center is equipped with 8 basketball courts, 16 volleyball courts, concessions and catering, a game day adventure, an arcade, a video arcade, climbing walls, and an aerial ropes course. Now, the city employees were honored to be the first guest in here, and I can tell you they had a full day of fun and excitement. Incidentally, I decided not to climb up on the climbing walls and the ropes and all, but it was really a spectacle to see how engaged employees were about it. Now, when I first came to Rocky Mount to serve as your city manager just over a year ago, one of the first things that attracted me to this area were the many opportunities that are waiting here, and the work that has already been done, including the streetscape project, the renovation of the Douglas Block, and much, much more. This event center is helping to create additional opportunities for downtown Rocky Mount. Before the doors open, the center is already becoming a catalyst for economic development and for the resurgence of downtown Rocky Mount. It is evident with the many events and tournaments already booked in this 4,000+ seat facility. It is also evident with the interest of private investors in our community, as well as the media coverage and notice we are receiving because of our already established sports tourism history with our outdoor venue, the Rocky Mount Sports Complex. Many people have asked me, why did the City of Rocky Mount and the Rocky Mount Event Center choose a new tagline, the center of it all? Well, it's simple. It is because of model facilities like this, we are the center of sports tourism, the center of activity and fun for the entire family, the center of cultural activity, and the center of a conversation about development and growth that is starting to gain interest from industries that would like to call Rocky Mount home. So I ask you that from this day forward, whether you walk into this facility or just pass it on your way to another location, hold your heads up high and say, this is our new crown jewel. This is one of many amenities that make Rocky Mount the center of it all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. One thing before we go any farther, something very important we need to do is the invocation, and the police chaplain, Reverend Howard Kendrick, is here for that.
Praise the Lord. You know, it's a little bit out of place, so this invocation might be a little bit different. Instead of praying an hour and preaching, I think I'll take a few minutes to explain some things and then pray for a few minutes about it. First of all, I live a perfect, peaceful life, and it's even more exemplified in this place. You know, I walked around here today, I was just marveling, and I still marvel at one thing, is that I have a perfect love for everybody in this place. And you know, it's funny, I have run into Democrats and Republicans face to face. I've run into bald-headed people and fat people and little people and big people and brown people and black people and white people. And I have a perfect peace because I made up my mind in my heart that I was going to love every one of you. I'm saying this to lead off on it. First of all, we got this word in our vocabulary that stinks. It's the word race. If you use that word race, you can put somebody above or below. We're all the human race. We're kin to each other, and we belong to each other. Amen? I'm kin to you whether you like it or not. I'm your relative. If you run those DNA tests, you'll run right back to Adam and Eve in the garden, and we all hook together. So we need to do that. Another thing, when I first got to Rocky Mount, I saw this railroad, and I shared with Charles one day. I don't see this railroad as a problem of dividing. This railroad to me looks like a great big zipper that holds us together. And we need to start working together. And one last thing. There's been a lot of controversy about this place. There's even probably some people in this place today that fussed about having it. You know, it's just like our elected officials. Once they're there, folks, let's get behind them. Let's get behind this place. Talk it up. Get behind this city. Talk it up. We are belong here, and it's our city, and it's our people. Amen? Let's go to the Lord. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity and the privilege that we have to come together in this facility that draws us together, and it shouldn't divide us, and it's here now, and we all need to get behind it. Help us do that, Lord, and help us to fall in love with each other. My goodness gracious. I love my brothers and my sisters. Work in our lives. Use us and transform us. Use this city of Rocky Mountain not only to have the biggest center, but have the biggest bunch of people that spreads that love across this nation. And we give you praise and thanksgiving for that in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. That was awesome. We're going to change our program up just a little bit right now. Congressman Butterfield has another obligation. He's always doing things in many different communities, so we're going to have him come up in just a couple of minutes. It's a great privilege to have him here. He's a man who's fought for equality for many, many years. He's got so many achievements, we can't name them all, but I've got a few here. Civil rights attorney, resident Superior Court judge, the North Carolina Supreme Court, Chief Deputy Whip of House Democratic Caucus, the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, and the list goes on and on. So please, since he has an engagement, and we want to get him up here to say a few words, but please, warm welcome for a tireless advocate and champion for all of his constituents, Congressman G.K. Butterfield.
You do there at ABC 11 and for all of us every day on the evening news, on the weather report, I should say. To the mayor of this great city, my good friend David Combs, thank you for all that you do for the citizens of Rocky Mount. To the distinguished members of the Rocky Mount City Council, to the other elected officials here assembled, and there are so many of you, I shall not call you by name, but I certainly know each one of you. To our city manager, Rochelle Small-Tony, thank you for coming to Rocky Mount and hitting the ground running. You are doing a phenomenal job in this community, and it's obvious. To Secretary Michael Reagan, who is here today representing our Governor, Roy Cooper, to the other stakeholders who have made this day possible. And if I may say to my 9th grade teacher, Mr. H.B. Davis, who is seated up there in the grandstand, I always have to recognize my former teachers. And to the citizens and voters of Nash and Edgecombe County, just saying. I'm not going to make a political speech, so don't get nervous about that, but I'm just saying to the citizens and voters of Rocky Mount. I am delighted to come today to share in this auspicious occasion. This event center is just absolutely amazing. I've seen it from the outside. Many of you may not know, but I travel Amtrak quite often from Wilson to Washington, D.C., and I come right by this building and just marvel at it each time I see it. But I had no idea of the significance of this building until I walked in the door this afternoon. This is just an amazing facility for a city the size of Rocky Mountain. 165,000 square feet in downtown Rocky Mountain in Edgecombe County. $48 million. We have come a long way. And so this event center is a prime example of the development and growth that is happening right in front of our eyes. We formerly referred to Rocky Mountain as the city on the rise. You remember those days. But now I'm going to refer to Rocky Mountain as a city that has taken off. As your 18-mile neighbor to the south, I've watched the rejuvenation that has taken place in recent years with many new businesses relocating and thriving in the Douglas Block that are now embedded in our community and attract visitors from all over. That is why downtown Rocky Mountain is always at the top of my list when there are opportunities to direct federal dollars to this city. Now, many of you may not know, but there was a time when members of Congress could earmark funding for special projects. That was done away with some years ago, but there was a time when we could earmark funding. And so we have what is called the highway bill, and every 5 years we have to reauthorize the highway bill. The highway bill is that legislation that allows the maintenance of interstate highways. And the Interstate Highway Program is funded through the excise tax on gasoline. And so when you go to your favorite gasoline station and put gasoline in your car, 18.4%, 4 cents per gallon, that's the tax, 18.4 cents is given to your federal government to maintain interstate highways. If you drive a diesel vehicle, it is 24.4 cents per gallon. And so we collect all of this revenue and we fund the interstate highway system. Now in years past, we were allowed as members of Congress to earmark a portion of that money to local projects in our district. And so when I was first elected to Congress, when I was newer to the Capitol Hill, I got a call one day from the Appropriations Committee, and they told me that I could earmark $10 million of the highway bill. I said, what? Me? They said, yes, you can earmark $10 million among your 23 counties in North Carolina. What projects do you have? And so my staff came into my office and they were trying to, Rochelle, be politically correct. And they said, Congressman, you need to give an equal portion to all 23 counties. We're going to find some counties that really can put this money to work and put it to work right away. And so I picked up the phone and played a little game with Fred Turnage. I apologized to him before he passed away, but I played a little game with Fred. I said, Mayor Turnage, if I could find $500,000 of federal money, could you put it to work in Rocky Mountain? He said, of course, Congressman, I can. I said, if I could find $1 million, could you put it to work in Rocky Mountain? I said, Fred, let me stop playing games with you. If I could get you $4 million, could you put it to work in downtown Rocky Mountain? And he almost passed out on the telephone. And so we earmarked, as I recall, some $4 million of that $10 million to come to downtown Rocky Mountain. That was the Douglas Block, that was Streetscape, and that was the beginning of the comeback of downtown Rocky Mountain. And so the growth that we're celebrating today is the result of state investment. It's the result of federal investment, but it's also the result of local investment. Your city council members have wrestled with this from a fiscal point of view, and they have tried to make the right decision. And so this is a blend between local, state, and federal funds. And so I want to pledge to you that I'm going to continue to try to bring federal funding into downtown Rocky Mountain. I know that Representative Shelley Billingham will certainly do the same at the state level, and I know the City Council will continue to do the same. And so I want to thank the citizens of Rocky Mountain for your love and for your friendship. Thank you for supporting these great leaders in your community, and let's make this dream become a reality with all of the bookings that you now have. That is a good signal that the best is yet to come. Thank you so very much.
Thanks so much to Congressman Butterfield. As you can imagine, there are many organizations and people who help move this project forward. Among them include project advisor and former city manager Charles Penny, who I've had the pleasure of spending the afternoon with and getting to know, Marty Moser, vice president for Barnhill Construction, Taryn Holt, president for Holt Brothers Construction, as well as William Turner of Wells Fargo and Brian Oxford from KHEC. So let's welcome them to the stage.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening. I'm Charles Penny, and I have the pleasure of recognizing our legal counsel, our financial advisors, our funders, our contractors, and our architects. When we began designing the Rocky Mountain Event Center, there were a couple of guidelines we wanted to ensure we met. Since the project's major focus was youth and amateur sports, the building had to be fun and inviting. That explains the bright colors. The building is also located in a National Historic District. Therefore, the building needed to be fun and inviting and look like it belonged, not have someone wonder if the building was dropped in from outer space. In order to achieve those requirements, it took a great deal of effort from the designers and contractors. Before we get to the contractors, though, you also have to be able to fund the project. So first, let me get to my task at hand of recognizing the folks. The mayor and the members of the Rocky Mount City Council have already been recognized for their hard work. But I think it's appropriate to give them another round of applause.
Amen.
Then there were some staff people that were very critical to the project. Amy Staten, the Director of Finance, and Nikki Gerganis, the City Accountant. They had the responsibility for ensuring all of the financial documentation was in order, and the city audit was submitted early with approval from the Local Government Commission. Then you met Brad Kerr earlier, our city engineer, very much involved in the project. I had some other assistants, Tasha Logan Ford, Tom Moten, and I believe Ann Wall had a little bit to do with the project before she moved. And then Natasha Hampton Clayton has stepped in and hit the ground running with this project as we moved forward. We also had our financial advisors, Davenport and Company. We had Ted Cole and Mitch Berguglio for their assistance in the financing and preparation for our bond raiders. We also want to thank PNC Bank, David Fisher and Casey Turner as our senior manager during the bond sale. We want to thank Stiefel, Laura Radcliffe and Cheryl Strickland, and locally we had Barton Winstead and Russell Proctor as co-managers of the bond sale. Jeff Rose was tireless in his role as city attorney. We had our bond counsel, Mary Nash Rusher, for her legal counsel as we worked through the Local Government Commission and the New Market Tax Credit closing. I want to thank Jody Smith, our city's New Market Tax Credit counsel. We also want to thank a young lady who's not here today with BWC Consulting. Her name is Bridget Chisholm. Bridget is an amazing young lady, a smart lady, and she helped us locate our New Market Tax Credits, $22 million in New Market Tax Credits to make this project possible. She's represented today by Cedric Johnson, who is in the audience. So we appreciate Bridget and Cedric's hard work to get us the allocation of New Market Tax Credits. From Wells Fargo, William Turner. William may not be here at this time, but Wells Fargo served as the investor for the New Market Tax Credits. You're going to hear from Brian Oxford from KHEC, Terry Burm of NCIF, and Randy Kahn of Green Line Ventures for the allocation of New Market Tax Credits. I want to extend appreciation to the Rocky Mount Downtown Community Facility LLC Board, Donna Johnson, Jamero McMillan from the OIC, Amy Staten, Landis Falcon from the city, and yours truly. This building would not be here without Barnhill Contracting and Hope Brothers Joint Venture as a design build firm. We want to extend a special thank you. You're going to hear from them in a minute. We want to extend a special thank you to Bob Barnhill. Bob is somewhere in this audience. He was personally involved to ensure that this project happened. It's okay to appreciate Bob Barnhill for all he did to make the project happen. I want to extend a thank you to Kerry Walker, Joe Schott, Marcus Coppola, and Perry Gardner for all their work on the project. This is a design build firm, so that means that the architects were hired by the contractor. So Oakley Collier Architects is the architect of record for the project. That's Tim Oakley, Ann Collier, and David Griffin. Victor Vines of Vines Architecture was also involved in the design of the building. Victor's a local guy, and these other folks are local as well. We also had Don Detliff from Colorado, Sincombs Detliff Architects, and they were very instrumental in their role as they designed the project. They were a great member of the architectural team. Then we want to thank SFM and SFA first for the preparation of operational performance that helped justify the project and their role on the development team. I do want to extend a special thank you to Steve Goris for his role on the team from the very beginning. He put those numbers together, and so Steve has been here all along with us. I want to thank our partners, the OIC. Opportunities Industrialization Center. Okay, they've been great partners. I just want to call out one person. You hear from the CEO shortly, but Sam Dickens for his role he played in the development and construction process on a daily basis. And then this other man, his name is Tyrone Holt. He's our construction counsel. He is the expert when it comes to design build. He led us, and we appreciate the direction, the knowledge, and the counsel that he provided us through this project. We also want to thank our owner's representative, CMTS, for their thoroughness and attention to detail. Hezekiah Harris is in the audience today, Jim McGibney and Lynn Poole. We want to thank them for their efforts as well, and Rob Lancaster out of Durham. This project has been a labor of love, and we know the citizens of Rocky Mount and the visitors to our community will enjoy this building for years to come. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Barnhill Contracting Company and Holt Brothers, a joint venture, we are humbled to be involved in a project that's this transformative for the city of Rocky Mount. And as a representative of a Rocky Mount headquartered firm, we're certainly proud to be a part of this. I see a banner in the back and it says, "Building strong communities through partnerships." And that is truly what this project and the entire delivery of it has been, is a partnership, a joint venture partnership, but a partnership with the community, with local businesses, and we are thrilled and very thankful to be a part of the project. Thank you very much.
I just want to say a few things. So many people have been thanked, and there's so many people to be thanked. I feel a little bad about taking any credit. We were the design build team, and we had a role to play on this project, and we were fortunate to play our role. There's, like I said, so many people to thank, and so many people are part of our teams, including our project team, and some of them are here. But it is truly the leadership of a lot of other people who took a lot of bullets, if you will, for them wanting this project in this community. But I can tell you that I bring a unique perspective to this project as, you know, we have Holt Brothers Construction. Both my brother Tori and I founded the company just 10 years ago. But we had former backgrounds, and we were fortunate to grow up in a small town, Gibsonville, North Carolina, play ball at NC State University, football for that matter, and then go off and fortunately play in the National Football League. But I can tell you it's the investment that our small town, Gibsonville, North Carolina, made in its recreation centers. It's the investment that folks poured into me, coaches, teachers, teammates, that allowed us to play professionally. And what you have in this center, the way I look at it, and the perspective I looked at it was, it's bigger than just this building. There'll be teams that'll be traveling from all over this state, all over the nation that'll come and utilize this facility. But it's also the local homegrown talent that'll have a chance to play in this facility and to be able to compete here. And if I'm any testament, is that you can take that competition, playing sports, make a career out of that, but also have life after that career and be a part of a great team, design build team with Barnhill and Oakley Colliers, but work with a city like Rocky Mount to bring something like this to life. So I just want you to know this project is certainly bigger than just a building, and this will serve as a beacon for this community, and we're just thankful to have been a part of it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. What a great day to be in Rocky Mount. Thank you for the city and OIP for hosting this wonderful event in this beautiful facility. My name is Brian Oxford. I'm the New Markets Tax Credit Manager for KHEC. We're a Raleigh-based nonprofit that raises capital for investment in affordable housing and community revitalization projects all over the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. Here in Rocky Mount and Ashe and Edgehill counties, we've invested over $22 million in affordable housing in 7 projects, our closest being Beale Street Square, just right down the street. As part of our holistic revitalization strategy, we invested in this project, providing $10 million in New Markets tax credit allocation. Congressman Butterfield, I think he's gone now, but he talked about it being a federal, state, and local partnership. This is federal dollars at work at its finest. The New Markets tax credit, if you don't know much about that, has been used several times in Rocky Mount before. It was designed to encourage private investment in disadvantaged communities by providing projects, low interest financing, and below market terms to help them create catalytic impacts throughout their communities. And I was asked to speak on behalf of the other New Markets tax credit allocatees. Charles mentioned a couple of entities. Other partners in this facility for New Markets were Green Line Ventures. They're based in Denver, Colorado. National Community Investment Fund based in Chicago, and Wells Fargo with William Turner based in Virginia. Through our 3 community development entities and Wells Fargo's New Markets tax credit investment, we provided $22 million of financing to this facility. And as you can see, from all the people who have been named as participants in this project helping get it along, and then with our groups from all across the country, it takes a village to make a project like this happen. I was here in April and spoke at the topping off ceremony, and when I was thinking about what to talk about at that event, I thought about what makes a good project, and I came up with 3 ideas. You have to have potential, you have to have persistence, and opportunity. The city's leadership and the citizens of Rocky Mount saw potential for changing the city's trajectory through sports tourism and locally through improved access to healthcare, recreation, and wellness opportunities. And wow, y'all dream big, and here we are in a 165,000 square foot facility that's the embodiment of that. You're also persistent. We've heard about that. I think the mayor said 50 years ago. It was the idea for a civic center came up, and here we are in 2018 where it's actual reality. It isn't easy pulling together that team of professionals, of financing, and you have to have persistence to go through the long development process and knowing the outcome is worth the long hours and headaches. And finally, the opportunity. The Event Center presents an opportunity for change. It's also a challenge. The Event Center is the foundation upon which opportunity is based. It's a catalyst that will spark additional investment and positive outcomes in downtown and the city at large. One of the best parts of my job working on New Markets tax credits is seeing how communities accept this challenge. Well before committing our investment, this was several years ago, and I do this on each deal I do. I go visit the communities, and I look at their proposed projects. I visit and I learn about the potential the sponsors see for their community. I learn about the community's persistence to overcome their challenges. And I learn about the opportunity the project presents for those it directly serves, and how it can help beyond its walls. I'm charged with being a good steward of federal taxpayer dollars, all of your dollars and my dollars, through the New Markets Tax Credit Program. In communities where, and I look for projects in communities where the story doesn't just end with that one investment. The best investments are those where the story continues to develop as the community embraces the idea that it can grow and change. I challenge you to take the positive energy that's in this building today and use it to fuel your passion for improving your community, not just today, but in the future. Congratulations, I look forward to seeing where Rocky Mount is headed.
Thanks to so many people who have supported this project, and thanks to our sponsors, Barnhill and Hope Brothers Construction, Power Services and Power Secure, Electricities of North Carolina, and Texacan. We're going to break things up a little bit before we continue with more speakers, but we want to welcome a young lady who ironically began singing with the Tar River Children's Chorus, we just heard moments ago, during her childhood. She began her involvement in musical theater in the 7th grade at Faith Christian School, and she has participated in over a dozen musicals. During her senior year, she received the honor of being named the Distinguished Young Woman of Rocky Mount, and went on later that year to be named Distinguished Young Woman of North Carolina. Kennedy graduated from high school as an AP scholar and as her class valedictorian and class president. She's now a first-year student at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where she is a double major in vocal performance and English. Kennedy is thrilled to have received both academic and music scholarships from UNC, and we want to really, it's amazing, my daughter's applying to UNC, I know how tough that is, so please give a warm welcome to Ms. Kennedy Miller. After her performance, there's going to be a presentation by Sports Facility Management CEO Dave Patique and Vice President John McDonald, and they'll be followed by OIC President Ruben Blackwell. But for now, let's hear from Kennedy Miller.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here, so thank you so much for inviting me. The song that I'm about to sing is called The Impossible Dream, and I found it very applicable to this event for two reasons. The first one is because of a historical fact about Rocky Mount that maybe not a lot of you know. Just really nearby the train station, my favorite historical figure, Martin Luther King Jr., came to Rocky Mount to our train station and delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech for the very first time. So we are the city that he premiered that speech at, and that is a really cool fact about Rocky Mount. The story goes is that when he was at the Lincoln Memorial and about to give his speech to thousands of people, to our entire nation, he was not planning on giving the I Have a Dream speech. He had another speech planned that he was hoping to give. But while he was walking up to the podium, apparently there was a woman from Rocky Mount behind him who shouted, "Hey, Reverend King, you really need to give that speech that you gave in Rocky Mount." And then on the spot, he switched it. So really, it's because of a woman from Rocky Mount, and of course because of the brilliance of Dr. King to write that speech. But really, it's our city that's one of the primary reasons that he gave that speech, and because so many in our nation and our world know it. So every time I sing this song, it reminds me of that. My favorite quote from Dr. King is when he said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." And so I hope that when I sing this song, that you will, one, be encouraged by how far our community and our nation have come since Dr. King gave that famous speech here in our city. But I hope that also you would be inspired and motivated to continue to vote and to speak out for change. Right after this event is over, I am going to Roswell Memorial Library to vote since I'm home today for the first time. I'm so excited. Thank you. So I hope that you really are inspired and motivated and encouraged by this performance of The Impossible Dream from Man of La Mancha. Thank you.
No
over in a second. America the Beautiful, hopefully we all know that song. So if you would, sing with me if you can and are willing. You're welcome to stand or sit, whatever you want to do, but please sing with me as we join together in America the Beautiful. Almost there.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here. How you feeling? It's going to get fun in a little while. That's what we're here to do. I'm Dev Patik. I'm proud to be the CEO of the Sports Facilities Advisory. We're the team that planned this facility. We got a phone call from Charles Penny saying we've got this arena that we've been planning, this Coliseum, and it looks pretty good. And we think we may want to pursue it, but we're not sure it's good enough. What do you think? And so we came into market, and I drove in here with John McDonald, who's over my shoulder, and Steve Gores, when this was a brownfield. And we looked around, we thought, well, let's get some lunch. Luckily, Prime was here. That started to give us some hope. And then we started to look at the data, because at first glance, I thought, how does this work? How do we tell a community that they should go forward and spend this kind of money on something that would seem so speculative? And then we started our research process. And that research process revealed that Rocky Mount is in fact the center of it all. That research process revealed that you're already hosting 100,000 visitors from outside the community in your tournaments and events. It revealed that your city council had the political will to deal with what it was going to take to get this done right. And then OIC came to the table, and there would be a health clinic here. We started to talk about downtown revitalization, and new market tax credits became a part of the equation, allowing this facility to be built at a lower cost than it would have been without that funding mechanism. And this bowl of soup began to come together. But I can't tell you, we had the leadership here at our back and at our front. They were here before we were, and it was because they had an expansive and inclusive vision for Rocky Mount that this project is here. Great leaders have an expansive vision, something that's hopeful. They're willing to look under every rock to see what might be possible, and that's exactly what you had. There's no person who deserves more of that credit than your former city manager, Charles Penny. I tell you that, the mayor at his side and this council, an amazing council, but Charles Penny at 3 o'clock in the morning was fretting over how do we get something done that will transform and be catalytic to the future of our citizens in Rocky Mount, and he was committed to it. He directed us and guided us. He asked the hard questions, and then council asked the hard questions. Mayor asked the hard questions and helped us refine our thinking so that we could create this model. All of that is exciting, but what's really exciting in this moment when I would call this a new beginning for Rocky Mount, and it's not a new beginning for downtown Rocky Mount, this is a new beginning for all of Rocky Mount. Because as you've heard today, without a vibrant downtown, there is no such thing as a vibrant city. Rocky Mount will be more and more vibrant as downtown comes to life. But what will happen in these walls in the years ahead is rather extraordinary. You came in here and you felt inspired. This is your community. People from around the country are going to come in here and feel inspired. They're going to engage in sport. They're going to engage in competition. There's going to be moments of triumph. There are going to be people out here who do things on these climbing apparatus that give them hope, that tell them that they can be something, which we all need, and we especially need when we're in tough neighborhoods. And the fight to keep this project downtown had many, many millions of reasons, right? The new market tax credits were an important mechanism to that. But what will happen in the years ahead will be transformative for the health and the economic vitality of Rocky Mount. In today's culture, sport has changed. We defunded physical education many, many years ago, and with the recession, we defunded parks and recreation budgets. Now our low-income families are a third as likely to play sport. And if you're a child in a low-income house with a single parent and you can't walk to a facility, you're probably not going to play sport. Kids who play sport are 1/10 as likely to be obese. They have 40% higher test scores. They are less likely to use drugs and engage in alcohol. They have lifetime outcomes in education and other things that are good for them. This facility will support that locally, and you should take pride in that, and please encourage people to use it. We in the city have created an access program to ensure that kids in low-income houses will have access to this facility. And then add to that the economic development opportunity. We're booking events, and John McDonald's going to talk about that, but we will produce more than $300 million in new spending from people who live outside of Rocky Mount. That's people bringing new money into Rocky Mount in just the next 10 years. And at the pace we're going, I suspect we'll beat that. This project has taken an enormous amount of effort from a whole lot of people, but nothing more important than the expansive and inclusive vision of your leadership. I would suspect that most of us feel more hopeful today, right now, than we did last night watching any of the news. This is a venue that brings us and brings community together. Let it be that. Enjoy it for that. Savor it for that. Get your kids in this facility. It will change outcomes. But keep this sense of hope, because this is plain proof that for all the divisiveness that we're surrounded by right now, we can be together in a place and celebrate what is good and right and wholesome. We are honored and thrilled to be here. We will produce that economic impact. We will live up to our commitments. We stood in front of you, I did, in many council meetings, and I made promises on behalf of our team, and I assure you we'll live up to those. And hopefully it is to the great benefit of the generations of kids and families that will continue to reside here, and those who are going to find out that Rocky Mount is a great place to live. Thank you. We're honored to be partners with you. We are honored to be partners with you. You're an amazing community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, folks. What a pleasure. I'm going to be brief for two reasons. One, there's not much more to say. And two, those 4 IntelliBeams up there shining on my bald head will have me sweating like you wouldn't believe. So I will be brief. Rocky Mount, this is big time.
That's right.
Don't let anybody tell you any different.
That's right.
This is big time. And today reminds me of game day when I played college football. And like Brother Hope, I played in the ACC. I grew up in Scotland County. It doesn't get much poorer than Scotland County. I was fortunate enough, Laurinburg, that's it. I was fortunate enough, like him, to get a scholarship to Duke University. Now here's where the difference is between him and I and his brother. They had a career in the NFL, I had a sip of coffee in the NFL. You know what I'm talking about. But you know what? I got a great education. And that's why I'm standing here right now today. Now on game day, you would get some speeches that would just put your hair on fire. And some of them would also make a sailor blush. And I wouldn't dare repeat some of the words that were said in a team meeting before a game. But Rocky Mount, today is your game day. Today you change the outcome of citizens and kids in your community. You know, living in Fayetteville right now as I currently do, I'm right on 95. And everyone thinks about North Carolina that anything close to 95 and east of 95, nothing's going on until you get to the coast. Well, this right here would dispel that myth. Rocky Mount, you will have it going on. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the facility. I will be brief again. As of today, our staff has contracted 55 events. Those events range from volleyball, gymnastics, basketball, wrestling, cheer, dance, concerts, religious events, business meetings, parties, graduations. You name it, we're going after it. There's a lot of work to be done, but we're here to live up to our commitment, as my boss said right before me. We will make mistakes, but we will listen, we will learn, and we will make this place a beacon of light. One thing that I want to leave you all with, and I want to also have a thank you for a few folks before I leave, is that Rocky Mount, this is your diamond. You can choose two things. You can choose to support it and let it shine, or you can choose not to and let it sit obscure. But one thing will happen, this building is not going anywhere. As Reba McIntyre, tour manager, told me one time when I was in the arena business, he said, John, my tour can go anywhere I want it to go because it's on wheels. But your building can't move 1 inch. So with that being said, folks that were against it, folks that were for it, doesn't matter now. It's here. We need to support it. We need to encourage others to support it. And we need to believe in this council and the mayor that this is a long-term investment. This is not a short, quick jump down the road. This is a true test of drive and determination. And lastly, I want to thank the staff. And I know Mayor Cummings mentioned all their names, so I'm not going to do that. I truly do want to thank them. I'm right down the road in Fayetteville, so I'm here a lot. And they hate it when I walk through the door. Because I believe in excellence. I don't believe doing anything half-stepping or halfway. I know no one is perfect, but I expect them to strive to be that way. And on behalf of them, again, I want to say thank you for the hard work that y'all have done. Please continue to represent the city in the right way, and God bless you all.
Thank you, John. Hello, family. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Just the beginning. Gosh, we have had a great evening, haven't we? We've toured, we've eaten, we've laughed. We had the biggest scissors I've ever seen. Got a big long ribbon. We patted each other on the back and all that good stuff. But what we really want to say is that this is just the beginning. Come on now, this is just the beginning. We're just getting started. Isn't it great to do it together? Isn't it great to do it together? I won't be long. Everybody says that, but then they are. But I know we got some funk to come. And we sort of think you're here for the great event and all of this, but we really know what you want to hear, right? I just want to first of all say thank you to all of Rocky Mountain, for everybody who voted, for everybody who came out and gave opinions, who helped us to create the greatest event center in this city, in this area, I'm sorry, this city, the only event center in this city, right? But the greatest one in North Carolina. And we know that we're going to make some big inroads all up and down the East Coast. We're excited about our partnership with the phenomenal SFM team. They have brought in a level of science and understanding that has helped make this a great project. They also, though, have a heart of compassion. Did you feel anything with Dev when he stood behind the mic? Could you just feel what was coming from him? He connected, and his people have connected with the spirit of our city. And the spirit of Rocky Mount is that everybody wins together. Everybody wins together. And if we don't worry about the folks who are not with it, it's okay. We still keep our eyes on the prize. And the prize is that we're going to be healthy together. We're going to be wealthy together. That's all right too. And we're going to prosper and love each other like Howard said together. That's a good thing. I want to thank the OIC Board of Directors and the OIC staff that works hard every day to make sure, I see you, yeah, that's Team OIC. And we work hard to make sure that everyone has opportunity to help themselves to a better way of life. And we thank the City of Rocky Mount for giving us an inside connection to be able to share with our investors in this phenomenal facility, to not just build something beautiful. Beautiful is nice, but I'm reminded of, and I'm a Christian, so this is on me, of a scripture that says that it's one thing to have a whited sepulcher, but if all that's living inside are dead men's bones, then that's just a graveyard, right? So we want to be a place full of life and energy and light and health and support for everyone. So we're here today to announce a phenomenal partnership that Greenline, that NCIF, the Wells Fargo, and the KHEC invested in us to bring good health to the little boys and girls who live all around this beautiful facility. Not good enough to have something they can look at. They gotta get in here and they gotta climb and experiment and grow and see people just like themselves that have attained great heights. So for our investors, I know y'all clap for everybody, but we thank you for the money. Come on now. Thank you for the money. Money is a good thing. You ain't supposed to be in love with it, but you are supposed to use it. So we want to, together, the City of Rocky Mount, SFM, OIC, in partnership with all of you together, we're creating a program that Deb dreamed of called Access for Life. You hear that? Access for Life. So we have a team of folk working together right through this facility and the OIC Specialty Care Center. I know it says clinic, we ain't got no clinic. We are a specialty care center. We offer to you great urgent care services, imaging services, mammography, and other kinds of imaging, as well as physical therapy. We're going to do some fun stuff in there. But more important than that, we're teaming up with all of our partners to make sure that all the kids, all the seniors have a chance to use this facility when it's not being booked by somebody who's bringing in the money. Because I heard $300 million, that was sounding real good to my ears. And just so you know, John said something that might have gone over our heads. He said that they had 55 venues booked. Well, city council members and Mayor Combs, you might remember we said now, Deb and SFM, you're saying good things to us, but we want you to sign on the bottom line and guarantee that you're going to make these goals, because we have a whole region of people that are believing in us and trusting us to do the right thing. So you know they signed on the bottom line, but you know what the pro forma says? The pro forma are the financial projections that sort of outline the possibilities of what can happen. It says in year one, just to make our goal, we need to bring in 18 events. But I heard we already got 55. And if my math is right, that's 3 times more than what we even dreamed about. The best is yet to come. 40 years ago, Secretary Ray, I was introduced to a man named Edgar A. Guest. And he wrote something. He said somebody said that it couldn't be done. But he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in. With the trace of a grin on his face, if he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With the lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quitting, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start in to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it. It can be done. It's already done. And we're getting ready to walk into the greater Rocky Mountain, Twin Counties. Welcome to your event center. We're in the center of it all. God bless you. Thank you.
Those are amazing speakers. We appreciate that. And it's amazing. You know, I know a lot of you folks ready now for the concert, which is coming up. My big regret is I didn't take the day off. I have to go back and do the 10 and 11 o'clock weather. I know, right? I know, because I think it's going to be awesome. This part has been so much fun. And I'm so grateful that you asked me to be here today. But before we move on to the entertainment, I've been asked to remind you of a couple of events that are coming to the new Rocky Mountain Event Center, including a spectacular Oktoberfest. That's October 27th from 4 to 7 with a bounce house, live DJ, food, a haunted house, and lots of fun in the game day adventure and arcade. And that looks like it is a lot of fun. On October 29th at 5:30 and October 31st, Halloween at 9 o'clock, we'll have a Frightmares Haunted Attraction. It Admission is $5 per person, but if you bring in 4 canned goods, you'll receive $2 off the admission price, and all items collected will go to Hurricane Florence victims. So if you purchase your tickets for all of the events right here at the Event Center box office, you can get it all right here. And for details on all the events, you can always visit the website RockyMountEvents.com. So now, again, thank you so much for having me here today. I enjoyed meeting all of you. It has been awesome. You all, it's one of the, I'm not lying. I was telling Jeff, our photographer right over there has been shooting this. Say hi to Jeff. But I was saying, this is one of the warmest receptions I've ever had coming into an event, and I truly appreciate it so much. So thank you very, very much. It's been a lot of fun to be here and be a part of this beautiful facility in your beautiful city. So we're now going to have our closing prayer by Rocky Mount City Council member and Reverend Richard Joyner, and a little later, Tamika Norman, who's Chief Communications and Marketing Officer for the City of Rocky Mount, will come on to get us ready for the entertainment and to announce some more events coming to the center here. Again, thank you very much.
Will you join hands with the person sitting close to you? While you're doing that, thank you to see Congresswoman Eva Clayton in the house. Yes, indeed. Give it up for her. Amen. It's a blessing to know that now I-95 64 corridor and the railroad have somewhere to stop. Rocky Mount is the center. Everybody ready for the as they come? We bless you from the north, south, east, and west, that you have drawn people to Rocky Mount, God, to let them know what can be done, what will be done, and what will continue to be done. And we thank you, we bless you, we honor you. And we give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise. Let the Redeemer of the Lord say amen. 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 Come on, give him a hand praise.
Rocky Mount, you know when you see my face what time it is, right? It's party time. Y'all ready to party in Rocky Mount? Let me hear you say, yeah. Oh, y'all can do better than that up in here. If you ready to party, let me hear you say, yeah. And y'all know it's gonna be a party because on the program today, we got a little bit of deep fried funk. We got the Tams. And none other, the mothership is gonna land here this evening. We got George Clinton and the P-Funk. So I know y'all ready to party Rocky Mount. In the meantime, while the Tams get ready, we're gonna have our DJ. And let me do this one more time. Y'all give it up for all the folks on the program today. Amazing job. It's a big day, a good day in Rocky Mount. I feel so proud. I really, really do. So in the meantime, we're gonna have DJ M Dollars, right? Coming to the stage. Yes, DJ M Dollars in just a moment. So while we're waiting on him, I want to remind you about some of those events. November 4th, from 4 until 8 p.m., we've got the Harlem Globetrotters, so make sure you get your tickets for those folks. Right here at the box office. And November 8th, from 5:30 until 9 p.m., we've got the Twin County Hall of Fame celebration as inductees are recognized at that annual banquet. So I'll tell you a little bit more about those events as well. But y'all give it up for DJ M Dollars. The Tams coming up in just a moment. But it is party time, and I'm proud to be here in Rocky Mount today. Uh-oh. Y'all better get down and do your dance. Hands wherever you are. It's party time, baby. Rocky Mount Event Center, let's go.
Learn how to do this dance, come on. Push it up, let me see it, Jeff. Make a bag, get up. said they like cake. Haters blue in the face like cause I'm drinking the cake, so let's play. I'm taking the game's mine. Y'all witness the change, it's my time. Yeah, I'm new to the game, but y'all might wanna say you ain't raps, they like saving time. I can dance all minute, I don't two-step. Y'all looking at something like a true player. The girl told me that a man that can dance might could possibly get down with the tool in his pants. Now I'm a lazy.
Y'all ain't gotta be scared to jam.
And when it's over,
stand up out your seats, let's go.
Cause I'm a pro, make you bring your bag low. And I'm a real dad, you like a purple. I see you moving your head. We can cradle the bed straight back it in the girl, see me.